Every life has a soundtrack. Join me as we invite guests to share their journey through music, one song at a time. 10 moments, 10 memories. I'm your host, Sean, and welcome to 10 Tracks.
Are you ready?
Welcome to 10 Tracks. My guest today is a woman who helps people win their pivotal moments, those hardest in between moments in their life, by combining mindset with business. She's a professional leadership and business coach, Miss Clara Vincenc Cismaru.
Hi,
Clara,
hi,
welcome to 10
Sean.
Tracks.
Thank you for having me here. It's a big pleasure. And I loved the idea of your podcast from the very, very beginning because it gets to show a personal part of me. And these days I'm mainly talking about business and it shows a part of me through the music that I love, which is fantastic. Looking
What,
forward for our conversation today so much.
thank you so much. I'm glad to have you here. Tell us where in the world you are today.
Today I'm in Prague, in my home. I've been living not in this house, but I've been living in Prague already 13 years, and
Hmm.
I'm not Czech. I'm a Romanian,
Okay.
yeah, now I'm living here because my husband is Czech, and we have a little daughter, and yeah, I fell in love with Prague. So it's an absolutely beautiful city.
Yeah.
It's maybe for me, it's the most beautiful city in Europe.
Okay. So you've been living in the Czech Republic for about 13
13
years?
years, yes,
Yeah.
maybe, or
Okay.
maybe soon 14 if I count. Yeah, I think soon there will be 14 actually.
And you grew up in Romania?
I grew up in Romania in a city 100 kilometers away from Bucharest in the communist times.
Right.
I have lots of memories from them, and my songs also, the first ones that I chose relate to that area. And then I went to university in Bucharest, and I studied there, and I also worked there for many years before I moved here.
Well, tell us a little bit about your business background now. It's you're kind of
Hmm.
combining mindset with business. I think that is so important because
Yeah.
um, everyone has to change their mindset, I think, to really, when they get blocks or they are kind of in these sort of situations, and it seems to happen a lot more, where people's mindsets tend to be locked or stuck. So can you share a little bit more what you're doing currently?
Yes, and I'll share a story since we are telling stories here. I've done like more than 20 years. I've been working in IT. The last many years, I worked in product management and leadership. So I'm specialized in this, and that's the reason actually why one part of my business now coaching is business coaching. And actually, 2 years ago, some big change happened in my life, and I told myself, what do I do now? Should I continue doing what I was doing, or should I take a bit of time to reflect on what I want to do next? And I felt a strong calling to coaching. I already felt this a while ago, and I also realized through my career, I actually helped a lot of people. So my first reaction was, I'm gonna register for this business coaching certification. I didn't know what will come with it. I said, okay, years later, I'll find the meaning of this. Right now, I feel a strong calling, and I will go there. So this is how my journey started. And then after that, I realized something else. You learn in the coaching school how to coach. You
Yeah.
don't quite learn, even if it was business coaching, you don't quite learn how to run a business. So I really was excited about coaching. And then I was like, I'm opening my business. And then, okay, what do I do now? So
Mm.
you start to learn about this, but then I realized I'm getting a lot of blocks. You know, as an employee all my life, I was finding especially about sales, because I was like, no, I'm not a salesman. And you have this idea of, you know, salespeople are pushy and, you know, all these things that I was like, I don't identify myself with this. I'm very kind, I'm very nice, and I don't do this, which is wrong because it depends the techniques. Selling doesn't mean that you do this. Then I had to learn marketing, and also I knew a lot of things, and it was very hard to niche because everybody's telling you niche, 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 niche. That's the key to success, which, by the way, I find it, yes, it's important, but actually I find it that it's privilege that comes with experience, because at the beginning, I think you should use the best you can, you know, and try lots of things until you see which are those things that you like, because it's not only important to know, you need to like, and also which are those things that land more and what are the people that you attract. So it took me a lot of time, you know, with myself. And this is where the mindset comes, because I realized that actually somebody told me, and it landed me so deep that I made it part of my coaching, that your business or your work is a reflection of you. Yeah, the business is a reflection of you. So I realized that I first need to work with myself, and not only about the skills, but mainly about the mindset, about my state. Because, you know, when you show up here from a state of survival, from a state of fear, from a state of scarcity, oh, I need this client because I need it badly, you don't open yourself to creation, to really seeing opportunities, to, you know. So yeah, I started to apply on myself, to learn more about it, to apply on myself. Yeah, I also started to learn more about neuroscience. I did other coaching schools. Even now, I decided to be even better, and I'm currently in the middle of doing a business school that starts from neuroscience and psychology. So yes, I'm combining with everybody the business part, because people need a strategy, people need to know how to do things, with the mindset, and in general, everything that means identity. You know, as I said there in my description, change, the difficult part of the change is that part where I am between who you were and who you will be, but you are not yet who you want to be, but not anymore who you were. So yeah, I find out that this is the core of the work that I do with most of my clients. They come with a business request, and in the end, we work a lot on identity and mindset and emotional things. It's beautiful.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And how does music play into all of this? Where is your soundtrack in between, you know, your family and every, you know, your work? Where do you put music into that mix?
I love that you use a soundtrack, because I never thought to put it like this. And actually, now it made me realize it is a soundtrack, because it's not a movie, although say life is a movie, but it's our story through life. And there are different soundtracks. But,
Yeah.
as you will find in my story, I have moments when music play a very important role in my life. And then there were times when I kind of forgot about it. Not forgot, I kind of got busy. And now I realize that, first of all, music grounds me. It also helps me change quickly my state. You know, when I mentioned those moments, because we all have ups and downs, moments when, okay, now we feel we are there and we created something beautiful and we got this client and we help somebody, and then you fall down that, I don't know, you lost the sale or nothing is moving, or and music helps me very quickly, and music combined with dancing.
Yeah.
Then it also helps me in my relationship, like with my daughter, especially because she also loves music. She actually told me now, well, she has many ideas at 7 years old now of who she wants to be when she grows up. But now lately she decided that she wants to be a singer.
Okay.
So we play a lot of music together, and even in the morning, it's much easier to wake her up with the right music. And
That's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. And also I use it for relaxation a lot.
Yeah.
For relaxation, for meditations is very important. And the way other times I'm using it to get reflection, because some music have such beautiful lyrics, and I find it that the poetry combined with the music helps it land much better. You get it at a profound level, as comparing to some just reading. It's a combination of all this sensorial stuff that creates a high impact to you.
I think music is one uh, area that you can be selfish. This is completely
Mm.
for you. The artists and composers and musicians, they create this, they put it out into the universe, and it's actually something that you can take for yourself and be selfish and say, this is what it means to me, and have a feeling that no one can take away from you. It's entirely
Mm.
yours. You can share it with others. You can celebrate with others the music. You can, for sorrow. But I feel that, whether it's in a meditative state, whether it's in a joyous state, dancing to it, it's still your personal feeling. And I think that's, there's other genres that, capture you, you can be connecting to you, but to music is almost it's kind of part of your soul. It's, your
Mhm.
heartbeats. It's a rhythm, and this is where I personally feel music kind of has that special place for everybody. Even if you're not an avid music fan, you still have certain things that kind of touch you every once in a while, and you can always come back to it. It's the friend
Mhm.
that doesn't leave you no matter what happens in your during your time. Um, we get into track number one here.
Yes.
Now, this is, I think, this artist started in the 80s. I think she's a Romanian
Yes. And
pop star, kind of, and done
mhm.
some other things
She
throughout her
was
career.
famous at that time in the communist times. We have few, actually, there were three ladies there. They were the
Mhm.
most famous, and she was one of them.
So her name is Mirabella.
Mirabella,
Yeah,
Mirabella Dauer.
you're gonna have to tell me the song title,
Yes.
because and
It's
maybe
called,
give me a
and I'll
translation.
translate it. It's called Multumesc, iubita mama.
Uh-huh.
And it's thank you, my dear or my beloved mother. It's a song, if you look at the lyrics, it's quite sad,
Okay.
but also good at the same time. It's like this mother is close to the end of her life, and it's a song to the mother. Mama, please stay with me a little bit longer, and don't forget before you leave to leave me your legacy, to tell me those stories, to leave me the legacy, to teach me about life. So
Wow.
it's
Okay.
very, yeah, very connected to my soul. And actually, I can see even now, after so many years, there are some modern artists that from time to time they are singing this song, and all of them say that it's very hard to sing this song live without crying
Oh
because it's
wow.
very
Okay.
deep.
Yeah.
But I chose it for another reason. Not, I mean, these two to show part of me because I felt always inclined for this kind of very deep, soulful, sad songs. In a way, I'm not a sad person, but I felt some melancholy, some connection with the depths of life, with these unknowns of life. The sensitivity, let's say. I cry a lot,
Okay.
and it's good. These songs helps me cry, and when I need it, to release the tension.
Yeah.
But there's something more beautiful in it if you want to know.
Yes, please.
Um, my mother has a really beautiful voice, and when actually she was in high school, she was singing in a band. She was the lead singer there.
Hmm.
And I also always dreamed to be a singer. So I saw her as, wow, she managed to do this thing. But after high school, she started to work, she started to have a family, so she completely lost this. So from time to time, she was singing to us, and this is one of the songs that she knew best. She didn't know many songs, and every time people were asking her to sing, she was singing this. And it also another thing in it because on the chorus there's a quite difficult part because you have to go quite high. You start the songs go in at some tone, and then all of a sudden it goes high and then goes low again. And yeah, people were saying that this is a difficult part. If you are able to play this well, it means you are a great singer. And everybody
Mm.
was saying how beautiful she sings. And I secretly wanted to be able to sing like her. And I felt like this is so difficult that, you know, without the training, the musical training and anything, it felt like I can't get there enough. I need to be in a mood, in a special state. Um, and yeah, it's part of me because I always wanted to sing, you know. And this was to me like, wow, the thing.
Yeah.
I managed somehow to find a way. And then there is another story because even if I was singing a lot and when I was before high school, actually the teachers knew that I'm singing, so they were asking me to sing every time we were going on a trip. There was a point where in this summer camp there was a music contest, and I went there with this song. Although I knew lots of songs, but I chose this. And the problem is during singing, I when I saw so many people there, I got nervous
Hmm.
and my voice started to tremble. And you know, when you talk, it's a bit much easier to hide it, or you know, but when you sing, it's very obvious. And even if it's a sensitive songs and it fits well, somehow maybe it was trembling too much. That after that, the kids for more than a year were making fun of me, like that I sang like this. So I got ashamed, so I stopped singing. And actually, people close to me, like in high school, my friends, nobody knows that I can sing. In university, the same. And
Mm.
only after that, even people that know me don't know that I sing. And then only at home from time to time, and my husband knows. But yeah, few people know this. And I actually rediscovered this more after my daughter was born because I started to sing to her.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah,
thank you for sharing that with all of us as well. So
yeah.
we appreciate that. It sounds you mentioned a couple of things about this song by Mirabella, but you
Hmm.
mentioned the technical difficulties of singing it, and if you can
Hmm.
achieve that, it's quite it makes you quite uh like
Good.
known
Yeah.
because of the quality that have her the complexity, but yet the lyrics are quite personal as well. So there's the emotional of what she's saying, but then the technical of how to sing it and how to express it. So it sounds quite very special, especially since listening to it, it is seems on the it looks like it's from the 80s or so in a very almost pop sound,
Yes, it's a
very
pop.
accessible and kind of upbeat. But
Hmm.
beyond, there's a lot more depth and
It's a lot.
complexity.
And this lady, if you listen, she has a very warm voice. And I have a warm voice. My mother has a warm voice. And I'm attracted to this because to
Hmm.
me, this is touches my soul better than some kind of, you know, you have this, okay, you can go high, but then it becomes a screaming more like, even if it's correct and everybody says, wow, what a good singer because I can sing so high. I'm not fond of that. I like this register where you can feel the warmness
Yeah.
of a voice. And this is exactly what she had, but she was also able to go high.
Does she have any songs in English, or is most of her
No, 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 no. Now
repertoire in
she's
Romanian?
older, she's still alive, but I never heard her singing in English. So I don't know even if probably she speaks now, because but at the time these singers were traveling around the ex-communist countries, so
Yeah.
they would sing in French, in German, in Spanish, maybe
Yeah.
Italian, but yeah, not English at that time.
We go into track two. This is more of a universal artist, for
Hmm.
sure. Someone who's very close to my heart, just over growing up and as a child, hearing him and being, from my family having this, and it doesn't really need an introduction, but this particular track that you chose is quite beautiful. It's called "Love Me Tender" by Elvis Presley.
Hmm.
Tell me about that.
Yes. Again, deepest, more stories, not just one.
Mm.
Uh, the first thing that came to my mind when I chose it is that it's the first English song that I was able to sing. I started to learn English during communist times, and I remember that the way we were learning was more like technical. I learned the grammar, I knew how to read well, okay, with the accent that you see now, but I knew how to read, I knew how to write, knew how to solve the exercises in the book, but I wasn't able to speak to an English speaker because we were not practicing speaking.
Mm.
And I really liked these foreign songs. And Elvis, I remember I had him on vinyl, and even on the communist times, we didn't have access to many foreign singers, but we had to the classic. We had Beatles, we had Elvis, we had ABBA, we had Boney M, we had, these things I remember that my father had on the tapes and
Staples.
on vinyl. Yes. And as you can see already, this slow songs and songs for the heart, they touch me. And this one has very easy lyrics if you look at it. Very easy, repeatable, easy. So it was easy for me actually to transcribe them from while playing. I was like trying to, write them down. There was no internet at the time when you search for the lyrics. So I was very proud of me that I was able to understand this. And that's the beginning of my love for English songs and learning English, because I was telling myself the moment I will be able to understand the English songs, I will be fluent in English.
Mm-hmm.
So I started this journey toward, and it continued with others, and now I am fluent. I have to say that there are still songs that I cannot understand completely, but I think we all have this when they are quick or whatever they use. But yeah, that's the first reason, because it reminded me of this period when I was learning English. And the second thing is it's more recent thing, because I always loved Elvis, and not for those rock songs, but more for these slow songs, because I realized that he has such a deep, warm voice. You know how I said that the kind of voice that I love, and it's hard to find another one like him
Yeah.
with
I
this.
wouldn't say his range is that complex in terms of how he sings, but when he sings, and he's done like gospel,
Mm-hmm.
church hymns, to rock and roll, to more ballads like this, it's him. You hear his
Yes.
voice and as he starts, and there's no uh confusion about what artist is that. It's Elvis, and I think that was his specialty. I mean, I think people can talk about all the aspects of what he did or what he created for rock and roll and where his roots came from and moving his body to the music,
Mm-hmm.
etc.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's quite a lot of aspects there that you can hold on to or pick is the most important. But I think at the end of the day, when everything is, there's everything's black and you don't see anything, all you hear is this melody and his voice. And I think that's where it stands in time, and it kind of continues to be something that can influence people of all ages. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if I may add here, I mean, this is what touched me, because as I mentioned before, I like the warmth of voice. I don't care about complex voices. I don't want, when I hear, I don't want you to play here to show me how good you are. I want you to touch my soul. And this is exactly what he does. And yeah, he's unique. And this is something what I like, to find your unique thing, that
mhm.
people recognize you. And another thing about him, apart from his life, and it's not my problem how he lived his life, but I realized recently that he maybe was not aware of how good he was, how talented he was. And I feel like it's shame that in a way he wasted this talent. Although he left this legacy, he could have left much more, but in a way he wasted it because he didn't have around him the right people to encourage him. And this is why, as a coach, I realize how important it is to have somebody who believes in you and
Yeah.
who helps you bring this talent, because he had a major talent, a fantastic talent, and he could have done much more than he did, and he could have lived longer.
Yeah. I mean, doing some additional research on Love Me Tender in particular, even the person who wrote this for Elvis, um, and Elvis gets credited for writing some of this, which apparently he didn't, but you know, who cares? The point is that the original song and the melody was different to how Elvis heard it and what he did with it. And
Mm,
even the writer said he takes songs and makes them his own. And he had in his mind, he was never like could read music or anything,
mm,
but he could hear it and then he could take it and he could make it into something that he like his interpretation of it. And I think that's when you hear real artists is when they listen to something and then they make their own version that's just a masterpiece. And you see that a lot with people like Bob Dylan songs. So
yes.
many artists have taken those songs, his song, and made it and transposed it into something completely special, and a lot of times better than his own version. But again,
Mm-hmm.
it's that whole their impression of what the song means to them. So I think that's you're right, and it's the same as you're saying. You don't have to have the depth or quality of of um, the voice to sing, as an opera singer, but if having just the passion and what you feel in your heart to sing it as is what can make it a personal but beautiful song. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's what an artist is. That's and I am fond to this type of artists, not to those that come and just for the sake of the making quick becoming a big success, quick success. So they just whatever sing whatever is modern. It doesn't matter, what they sing. Real artists are those that knows how to put their own signature, their own soul practically. Yeah, you put your soul, how you said, the way you hear it, not the way it was, the way you hear it.
You also touched on something really important around people like Elvis, Michael Jackson, Prince, Madonna, even.
Hmm.
These major artists, as well as people in business, people in other areas or work like sports. If they don't have the right coaches or support to really help them in their careers or all aspects of their life, that's where they tend to listen to the wrong voices
Mm,
or kind of get lost into what is not real. And you see that a lot with senior people in companies. And if you look in the
yes,
corporate world, which, backgrounds having that. You see that a lot with athletes who have, especially, I think you see that a lot in tennis, who, because
mm-hmm.
they have to rely on themselves. And that's I think a lot in tennis is mindset. Probably chess
Yes.
is even more, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm less familiar with chess or understanding the complexity of it. But
I think, yeah, but tennis, I find it more because in tennis, you also physically challenge and they are moving every week to a new tournament. So they don't have much time for recovery. And if
mm,
you see in the games, they have to quickly switch in the mindset. How many times we saw amazing players that were about to lose the game and then they turn it
yeah,
unbelievably and then they won it. That's a strong mindset.
yeah. And they have to get themselves out of because sometimes they can get down a rabbit hole because of the crowd, because of a point of the referee, where
Yes.
something was called wrong on the last serve, and you get into this kind of like spiral. So it does take, like you said, in the last, when it seems like everything's down or it's impossible, they can turn it around, and that's there's lots of, I mean, enjoyment to be a tennis fan to watch that, of course. But
Yes.
yeah,
Maybe not so easy for them
no.
when they play.
um, Track three. Now, again, I'm gonna attempt this, and then you're gonna correct me. But now I think this artist is Romanian
Yes, also Romanian.
background, but has Greek
No,
connected to
actually,
him.
he's
Just
maybe, but
Romanian.
he's Romanian. I'm
Okay.
Romanian.
Nicu
Nicu Alifantis is his name.
Alifantis. Okay. And tell
And
us
the
about
song is
this track.
called Ploaie and Luna lui Marte. which is the rain in the month of Mars, like March.
Yeah.
Um, it's a bigger story again. I mentioned to you how much I loved to sing when I was a child, and my parents were telling me when I was 2 how I was singing everywhere, on the street, on the didn't matter. I was just singing everywhere. My one of my earliest memories is during Christmas. This wasn't a party. I'm trying to see. There was like this gathering on Christmas on our parents' work, and they were making this big celebration where they would bring Santa to give you some gifts, but you have to perform, to tell a poem, to do something. And my mother was working for this company that was distributing food and had all the food shops. So you can imagine there were lots of people there, maybe 1,000 people, if not more, because I come from a city. And I remember this big room and this big stage, and I was so happy I'm on the stage, and I would give a concert there. It didn't matter. Everybody was cheering, and I would give a concert. What was I singing? Lots of folk songs, because
Yeah.
this is what I heard the most on the radio. Well, there was even we didn't have much. They did not allow us to hear much on TV. We barely had 2 hours, but there was 1 hour or 2 hours per week. There was some special festival with folk songs, and I fell in love with them. And this Nicu Alifantis is one of the people from that period, and but this song is not he launched it before 89, but in this variant I think with these all instruments, and it's later and became famous later.
Hmm.
So I wanted to choose it because one is it's not that easy to find those original folk songs, and second because this is an absolutely beautiful piece of art, not only the music but also the lyrics. The lyrics are written by one of our greatest Romanian poets, maybe the greatest. There's another one called the greatest. Let's say he's the second greatest or something like that. Yeah, and it's a love song, an absolute a beautiful love song. And I remember falling in love with it at the time when I didn't have a relationship. So I was craving a love like this,
Yeah.
which came much later, but these songs can transpose you to that. So yeah, I was living my non-existent love through this song, and it's the kind of song that you can hear over and over and over.
So the
Like it's
rain in March.
raining. Yeah, it's raining and you are somewhere on with your lover, and spending time together,
Yeah.
and making love. And well, he's not talking particular about these words, but that's the idea,
Yeah.
and it's really beautiful romantic song.
His voice actually, because obviously I'm not familiar with him, but hearing his voice and even not understanding the words, but just the passion in his singing and everything, it was quite special. So it's a beautiful song.
It is, and
And-
actually, if you look for the lyrics, the translation will be hard. So it will not give, because I told you this poet is a very good poet and a special one. Speaking of bringing yourself, and when you read these poems and you are Romanian, you know it's him, because
Mhm.
he has a way of using words in such an unexpected way. Like he creates metaphors from words that would have maybe a different meaning or different. I know that many times it's even difficult to understand. You need to spend time to understand actually the depth of one line. Imagine
Yeah.
a whole poem is like this, where each I remember when we studied him in school, it was very difficult to study, because difficult and beautiful at the same time, because he was very generous, at every line to find deeper meanings and hidden meanings, but it's not easy, not so easy, but beautiful at the same time.
Has there been other translations of his poems into songs?
Yes, actually, I will send to you, and one of them was even sang by one of our famous jazz singers. She was initially started as a pop singer, but then she loved jazz, and she had a special signature to her jazz. And in the end, she also played internationally. I think now she's living abroad, so I will send it to you.
Okay.
That one has a little bit more jazzy sound on it.
We get to track 4.
Mm-hmm.
This is a American, I think, her background, Joan
Mm-hmm.
Baez. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I mentioned, now
Bob Dylan.
realizing the connection that I kind of spoke out early, I kind of leading up for this, and I didn't put it together. This is a Bob Dylan song she covers live called "Blowing in the Wind," and I think her
Mm-hmm.
version was actually quite famous
Mm-hmm.
in those. It was 1975. She did this.
Mm-hmm.
And I also read that the song is considered a protest song,
Yes.
which I wasn't that aware. I've known the song throughout my life, but not realizing the connection of how it could until you listen to the lyrics a couple of times and really see it. But this version in particular is Joan Baez. Tell us your special connection with it.
Yes. Well, you know already. I realize I chose a lot of folk songs, so you know
Hmm.
already my love for this, and it's especially this one. It's representative because it's just the guitar and the voice. And this to me is the raw beauty of the you just have one instrument and the voice note. I mean, I love the full orchestra, but this is I think it touches my soul better. I know when I learn it, and I did not realize it's a protest song initially. I fell in love with the beauty of it, and Joan Baez has a special, the same. She's the type of artist that you would recognize that it's her if you know her work. The same warmth in the voice, but also good range of vocals. And yeah, first of all, I fell in love with it because I felt like it's an easy song for me to sing, and it fits my voice very well.
Have
Then I
you sung
also,
it live?
yeah, not in front of an audience, but actually, I was in high school, and my brother, he's younger than me, but he had a friend. He was, or maybe not in high school, but doesn't matter. Maybe I was a bit older. He had a friend who was playing guitar, electric guitar, but also acoustic, but mainly electric. And now, by the way, he's playing in a band, in a rock band in Romania. So 20 years later, and he said, I see how much you love this. I will bring you my friend to play for you at home, in your room, in our room. So he brought it home. You know, he's 6 years younger than me or whatever, just to play for me, which was, I felt something special.
Yeah,
And he also allowed me to sing with him, you know, which was
nice.
even more special because I never played with an instrument, you know, it was always like this. And one of the songs was this one, because for me, as I said at that time, at my level of English, I would choose easier songs, and this was easier for me to, in terms of lyrics. And I remember, you know, I had a musician in the room, a real musician, and it was for the first time when somebody looked at me and said, "Wow, your voice sounds like reminds me of Joan Baez actually in this." And I felt so honored. I'm not sounding like her, of course, but yeah, this moment stayed in my heart because it was a in a way a public recognition
Yeah,
that what I feel inside, it's not just my imagination, you know, that I could touch somebody's soul. And yeah, it's a dear memory for me because of that. And then, of course, when I started to look at the lyrics, I saw the protest. I'm not a rebel and I'm not a revolutionary person, but I have strong beliefs in peace. You know, yeah, I promote peace. I promote understanding between people. And this is also not only protest. If you look at it, there are also things deeper with deep life meaning, all how life is, how we see it, and lots of things that we don't understand. Because that's why they say the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind,
mm,
because you cannot answer these questions.
no. But that's a lovely story connecting with your brother and you being able to do your own version of this
Yes,
song.
for one time, one moment in time, I was
Yeah,
able to do this, and I have to thank him. And I actually thank you for making me remember it because I forgot it. But
no,
yeah, he's a sweet guy, and we had a special relationship. And I don't know what was in his mind at the time. I'm gonna do this for you because I'm sure you will love it.
we get to track number 5, and I was a little surprised, but not too surprised. But it's actually a really special song from them. But they are known for having their really heavy, um, kind of more upbeat rock
Hmm.
or heavy rock, Metallica,
Yes.
which is a huge band. But this one in particular is Nothing Else Matters off the Metallica album, the Black Album with the Snake. And so it's a lovely song, but just I wasn't like, okay, now we're getting into
To the
Clara,
hardcore
the
stuff.
real Clara, like her heavy stuff, or is it just this specific song that kind of touched you from Metallica, or both?
Well, I have more songs from them, and not only them. Actually, you don't see from there, but I don't like only folk. I like rock music too. Well, not the Rammstein type, or not the loud music. I like the rock part that has a melody in it. But of
Yeah.
course, all these classics, Queen, but the thing is, this one in particular was my first connection with the rock music. Well, apart from Elvis and the and yes, of course, I fell in love with Metallica through the rock ballads, and it started a relationship with these rock ballads that many of them, not just Metallica, and I couldn't put here more of them. And then through these rock ballads, I started to listen to other songs that they wrote, and I found others that I like. So it's an important part of me, and of course, now if you ask me to choose something, probably the first thing that I would choose would be a rock ballad or something
The
rockish.
Yeah, the song, this particular song, the lead singer, and he's one of the co-writers for the band. He actually wrote it about, I guess, a breakup with his girlfriend or something, a special girl in his life or something. And he was mostly just writing it. He wasn't
Hmm.
necessarily considering it for Metallica. But
Yeah.
I guess when they were on tour, he kind of would play around with the song and just play it. And I guess it was the drummer, the Danish guy, who said, let's record this and do it. And so I think that's what pushed them to do it, which became probably more of a massive hit for them. I mean, they have a
Yes.
lot
Yes.
of massive hits, but this one was actually took them to another level in terms of their, I guess, again, like you said, having melody, having more of a sensitive component to their music.
Yeah, because it shows that even the rock stars are human beings and
Yeah.
have this sensitivity. And like how we say, even a big man can cry.
Hmm.
And I saw it recently that they said that they not expect it to be a hit. They were not planning to publish it. And then I also heard Eric Clapton saying recently that this is the most beautiful song in the world because at least the beginning part is something very special. He's a musician. He understands better the complexity of the. He said it's very beautiful how. And also, I remember I always wanted to play the guitar, but I never had the chance to learn. But the first few sounds, I know how to play them. And for me, I don't know how to tune the instrument, but by playing this, I can recognize if the instrument is tuned or not.
Yeah.
That's
Ah.
my, yeah, because they are these first sounds.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
it's beautiful to
excellent.
me. It's very beautiful song. Like not necessarily even in the lyrics. If I think that nothing else matters, but mainly it was the music that attracted me. And then there's another story on it. How I started to hear about rock music, and when I was a teenager, my father was very tough. He didn't let me go anywhere. I had to be home at 10 and I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. And my best friend was telling me, "You're going here, it's an amazing place." Normally there were these disco places where young kids were going, but was
Hmm.
a special one because they were playing just rock music. And she said, "There's this band Metallica, you have to come and hear it." And remember, we didn't have internet. I didn't have it on the radio, so I had to go somewhere to listen. So one day she said, "Just come with me. You'll see how you deal with your father. You'll try to get home before midnight, but just come with me. Don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness." She was the rebel. Exactly. So I
Yeah.
went with her. I got some experience there. So I really enjoy it. So I come home. My father was not happy about it and said, I know what you did. You went there. I told you don't go, and you went there. And I said, oh, okay, yes, I went, what, you know. But it was good because that was my first contact with this music. And then later, when I had the chance to listen to it more, I fell in love with it.
Wow. Yeah, I think everyone has to sort of be slightly rebellious or do, and it's better to ask forgiveness than
Yeah,
permission
yeah.
sometimes.
And
You're right.
I had it. I have a part of this in me, definitely. But because of my upbringing, it was you know, it was kept there inside me. You know, I had it here, and I had to grow up actually to understand what's inside me and let it out. And not in
Yeah.
a terms, in a way of I'm rebellious because I just want to be rebellious. I will not be against you just for the sake of it. But it's more like when I really feel that this is what I think, or this is, you know, how I behave, then I will do it. But it took me a long time to allow myself to be true to myself and speak my truth.
I think that all generations have to have a little bit of rebellious in them because it also creates more art. It creates
Mm-hmm.
it lets you kind of express yourself. And if you don't have that, and if everything just kind of followed in the same forever, it would be too stagnant, and it would people it would like lose life. You know, you
Yes.
wouldn't really have that in your soul because your interpretation is different to my interpretation to your daughter's interpretations when she, you know, wants to be artistic or create whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
Um,
I realize it's not just art. Like I see now this rebellious, I don't see it as I say more rebellious because now I allow myself to be more authentic. And actually I promote this and I realize this is one of my core values, if not my main ones, who's driving everything else. But I also find it sometimes in terms of a bit of adrenaline. Like I'm not an adrenaline freak, but in the past 10 years, I discover more my love for skiing,
mhm.
or for, I've always loved roller coasters. There is something, you know, like there, like in a rebellious way that you need to bring it out through this. A little bit of adrenaline in life is good. Not
Yeah.
too much, but a little bit.
We get to track six. And this is, I would say, similar to our earlier discussion about Elvis and kind of maybe how his life in with artists of this caliber that they have sometimes not the right people in their
Mm-hmm.
corner. I feel like this might have happened to Whitney Houston,
Mm-hmm.
who's your number six. This song is a beautiful song, and I didn't realize it was from the Olympics until I was playing it for
Mm.
my wife, and she's like, "Yeah, that's from the Olympics." And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew the
Mm-hmm.
song but didn't connect. So it's you know it's funny when you put all the connections together, but it's called
Yeah.
One Moment in Time.
Mm-hmm.
So in talking about somebody who has vocal complexities and depth
Mm-hmm.
and just range, I mean, there was very little limit to what she could and how she could sing. I mean, even if you're not a fan of her music, or you can't deny the beauty of her voice and how she was able to just control
Mm-hmm.
songs that she
Mm-hmm.
sung.
Yes, and you're right. And I until you know talking to you, I didn't realize that actually I chose these special artists that have this unique way of bringing their art to life and these special voices. And yes, Whitney Houston could sing everything and could make everything sound beautiful. You know, like
Mhm.
Celine Dion, and you know this kind of Barbara Streisand, this kind of artist who makes everything. Lara Fabian, you know, make everything beautiful, even if they can sing high. You
Yeah.
know, and but I love many songs from her, but to me. This song has another meaning. They are the lyrics that made me that have special meaning because they always make me cry. Because when she sings that, give me one moment in time, when I'm more than I thought I could be, when all of my dreams are a heartbeat away, and I'm touching eternity or something like that at
Hmm.
some point. I feel like we all need this moment in time. when we reach our potential or when we feel like we are top of our games. I also believe we can have more than one moment in time. You know,
Yeah.
of course, he was for the Olympics, and maybe for them the highlight is just one Olympic game. But I think through the life we may have more, and we need this. We need this to feel like, yes, that we met our destiny and we fulfill our destiny on Earth. And it
Reach for the
reminds me,
stars.
yes, yes. And I had such moments. I still want more, but yeah, I had such moments when I thought that, wow, I'm living my dream and I'm on the top of the world. Not from ego perspective, really. This you have this. You're so proud and so unbelievable that you managed to get there. So yes, every time I need inspiration, I'm playing this song.
Yeah. Well, we get into track 7, and this is, I guess, a good segue from having that one moment in time to um, having special angels that are on your shoulder that are looking after all of us. This was, I think, off of the first solo record from Robbie Williams
Hmm.
that he did.
And I
Um,
think his first big success.
yeah, and so this song, it's called Angels, and really kind of catapulted him to, I would say, even like bigger than just the UK or some parts of
Yes,
Europe. I think it
yes.
actually got him more on a international level. So
Hmm.
it's actually a really nice song. I wasn't a huge fan of Take That or anything like that in the
Oh, me neither.
because I was living in the UK in the 90s, and they were quite big, and that's when
Hmm.
I first heard of them. And then obviously the whole boy band breaking up and everything, and Robbie Williams on solo and all this.
Speaking of
Um,
rebels,
yeah, a lot of stuff. I think there's a documentary on him
yeah,
on
I saw it.
Netflix.
I saw it. Very
Uh,
interesting.
but just if you take this song, it almost sounds like when I first was listening to it again, when playing it when on your from your playlist, I could hear Elton John, I could hear other big artists that he's in that same level with them, which I'd never really
Hmm.
noticed it before because his voice and who he was. But it actually has some special. I mean, this song in particular, it's a really nice song.
Hmm. First of all, of course, the music touched me, and when I love a song, I want to sing it.
Yeah.
And I realize it's not that easy to sing, but once you manage to do it, it gives me a lot of energy and warmth and satisfaction for me. I like to sing it for me. And of course, the lyrics are also special, like this idea of having your angels with you all the time, even when you don't have anyone else and you are protected, they love you. Uh, and I was many times alone in life, so it's good to know this. And I'm also teaching now my daughter about angels because she may be afraid to sleep alone at night, or she when she's in school, somebody, I don't know, upsets her. So I want her to know that there's always somebody around her who she cannot see, but that who protects her, which
Yeah.
I find it very important to know this. So this is the connection with the spirituality. And also lately, we know we both met in the field group, and even before that, I felt this calling toward intuition, to the universe, to our connection. So I feel like these angels also, it's a good symbol to what this means, what spirituality means. And then there is another story, this time not connected to spirituality. On my wedding, we hired this band. It was a father of a friend. We saw them at another event and we said, oh, they sing well, people are having fun, let's bring them. But what I did not realize is that the guy was not speaking English. And he chose to sing some English songs at the wedding, and you could see that he was reading them the way he understood, but definitely he
Right.
could not speak English. And everything was fine until he decided to play this song. And I felt
Okay.
like he's butchering it. And this song is so special to me that otherwise you cannot do that. So I got so angry that I went there, grabbed his microphone. I'm gonna sing this song. You cannot butcher my song. So I'm starting to sing, but what I did not realize, speaking of me not being a musician and not being used to this, that in that particular place, there was so much noise from the instrument that I could not hear my own voice. And you cannot sing when you cannot hear your voice. Because you see all the singer, they have these headphones too. And I could not. And I felt so bad because, you know, in front of the, well, not so much a shame, but, you know, it felt like, okay, I wanted to do something and I did not manage it because I cannot hear myself, you know. So yeah, very interesting story, and also shows a part of me when definitely I'm this person, and if you cannot do it, I'm gonna do it.
To keep that song kind of protected in its perfect form.
Yes, and now with the story, actually, it remains a even more special song just because of this. And also, you know, initially I had this idea to sing a special song for my husband. Not this one. I had another one in mind, but then I realized, well, I don't know the band well. I don't have time to prepare it, and I'm not gonna risk it to do it just, you know, live or whatever, impromptu. So this was in a way, you know, related to this idea of singing at my wedding, but then it didn't work out because, you know, I could not hear myself.
Your track 8, now is he Italian? Do you know?
Which yes,
It's
yes, yes, yes. He's
Ludovico?
Italian. Ludovico Einaudi,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, he's an Italian pianist.
Yes.
And
And
this is, I think,
composer.
instrumental piece. Yeah,
Yes.
that is. And what is this track is called?
Nuvole Bianche.
Yeah. So tell us.
I think I heard about him through a movie. It's a French movie. No, I lost it. I thought I know the name. Not The Untouchables, but I need to find it. Anyway, it's a interesting movie with a guy who is paralyzed from head down. He's very rich and he's looking for somebody to hire somebody, you know, to help him as his companion, to push him in his wheelchair, to, you know, to be his companion. And then there is this guy, a very funny actor, a black actor, really funny. He's been playing in lots of comedy movies with a lot of charisma, you know, big smile, and he was unemployed. He was living on social help, on social money, and he was forced to go to interviews, you know, just to prove that he's trying. So he's going there and he's saying, I don't want the job, just get rid of it and tell that you reject me and just sign here. And actually they decide to send him to the interview and he gets the job and he's like, I don't want this job, you know. But he came with this fun. So he brought this fun in this guy's life, and in the end they became friends. And it's a really beautiful movie with beautiful soundtrack, beautiful music. Not everything Einaudi, but it's a lot of Einaudi there. And then actually I found out that it's inspired by a real story, and these two are still friends. And then I started to listen to more of his songs. This one is probably my favorites, but there are many of them that I like, and this is my relaxation time. And I also remember that I chose this as a soundtrack while I was in labor, because I was like, I need to be more relaxed, and I need to listen to this to help me. I had a special soundtrack there for labor.
Yeah.
Well, in the end, there was no Wi-Fi in the hospital, and I didn't quite get to play it the way I wanted, but that was the intention.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So we get to track number 9. This is another, I guess, international artist, Marc
Yes.
Anthony. And Vivir mi vida.
Vivir mi vida. It's like living my life.
Yeah.
And this is actually, I find, well, it has a story when I found it, but actually I gave more meaning now, because since I started my business, there were a lot of things happening in my life, and I connected with it more because the song, it's about choosing how to live your life.
Mm-hmm.
Life is full of you can choose to look at things that don't go well and stay in that, speaking of mindset, or you can choose to see it as a place, as a space where you learn lessons, as a space where you leave a legacy,
Mm-hmm.
and as a space to be lived with joy. And actually his song is about this. If you look at it, it's a lot of dancing, and it's about I choose my life, I'm living my life with the laughing and with dancing, and I think it's a beautiful message that we all need to, take life as a dance, as music, as joy. No matter, because in the end, life is a dance, ups and downs, it's a dance. And I think you have a more happier and more meaningful life if you approach it from this perspective. And then my daughter actually made me remember this song recently, because we were this year on a holiday and they were playing this a lot as a disco song, dancing song, in the
Mm-hmm.
evening. But she really liked it. She liked the melody. And now I wake her up with this song every morning. Because but she doesn't understand the lyrics, just the music. It's very, very musical for her and, energetic. But she made me remember the meaning of this, and I was like, yes, that's exactly the mindset that I switched to live my life with joy and with dancing and with singing, and that now I'm discovering more the child in me, that child who was joyous and singing everywhere, not caring about how perfect or not, how technical or not, how good it was. I was just singing out of joy, and I did not care if people like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And now I feel like reconnecting with that inner child in me and bringing that to the way I live my life. And it's the also legacy that I want to leave to my daughter.
Having that, making time for yourself to dance, to just when the waves are coming up and down, that you can enjoy and appreciate those highs, and
Yes,
then it makes the lows not as low.
yes.
Yeah,
And
that's
it makes you
beautiful.
not only not as low, but I also strongly believe that when it puts you in a different mindset, you find solutions faster.
Yeah.
So it's staying in this creative mode. So it's about choosing, do I stay in the low for a long time, or do I allow myself to recover quickly? And actually I don't need to reach the peak to be happy. I can be happy at any phase because I'm just accepting the situation, radical acceptance, not that I give up, but simply accepting what I cannot change and do what it's in my power to do. I think
That's
this is,
lovely.
the beautiful legacy I want to leave to my daughter.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. We get to track 10. I'm not sure about this artist either. I was not. I love this, the title of the track, We Are Free. But now is he,
I
I'm
think
not sure
he's
where he's
from
from.
Balkans, and I think maybe Serbian, but I'm not sure either.
I think he grew up in Switzerland though. That's what I read.
Maybe,
That's the
but
only thing
he
I
has,
connected.
but I think he has some Balkan roots, but I may be wrong. I may be wrong.
Okay.
I don't know.
Valdi Sabev?
Valdi Sabev, I think.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know much about his upbringing, but I like his music a lot. I discovered it in a very interesting moment, and especially this track many years ago. I was reading this story about this young entrepreneur, successful guy. And at that time I was employed and thinking, no, I can never be an entrepreneur. This is not for me. I'm not able to do this. But you get this fascination of other people doing these things that you cannot do. And then they were mentioning there that he's actually listening even to music that normal people don't listen. In general, you don't hear. It's not the mainstream.
Yeah.
And he mentioned exactly this track. They were saying that this is taking you to different spheres, and I was like, okay, curious, let's see what it is. And I still remember the video on YouTube. It was with dolphins, you know, jumping in the water. It was absolutely beautiful to see. And it gave me this idea of being free. But at the same time, even I saw the water, in my mind, I felt like flying. I felt unlimited. And every time I listen to this, I feel that I'm flying. I feel that I have no limits. And for me, it's a great song for visualizing and for defining and visualizing my vision. You know, which is very important to connect to your vision.
Yeah.
Because this is what brings everything in life. You need to have a vision, and you need to all the time get to it so that you remember what you do now and create from the state of the vision, you know. And this music, for me, the meaning that I give every time I listen to it, I get in that state. And there's something else important to it for me, because freedom is also one of my core values. And well, it has different meanings. It doesn't just mean I'm free to do whatever I want, but it's this idea of freedom to be authentic, you know, freedom to express myself, freedom to develop myself, freedom to choose the people I want to spend time with. And believe it or not, I chose it as my wedding song.
Okay.
My husband had no idea what this means, but he just said, whatever you want, that's what I put. But he only asked, why are you choosing We Are Free for a wedding song? Because, you know, we are getting married. So marriage is not just, you know, freedom. And apart from the fact that we made it somewhere on next to a river, and I was coming on a big boat, you know, to meet him, and I had his friends, you know, they were like, I felt like a queen there, you know, on a big boat, and the I had 9 guys around me, and they brought me to him. Like, it was really beautiful moment, and you know, associated with those dolphins, you know, coming when I come, and the exact music is playing. But my idea was that in marriage or in any partnership, it's ideal when you can still be yourself. You know, nobody is trying to fix the other one, because there's nothing wrong about you to be fixed. We are not trying to, you know, we are there just to block each other. I found out that the best is when we can help each other be better, you know, grow better in a way that we can grow better by having a supporting partner next to us. So it was more like, speaking of vision, this was the vision for my marriage, you know, the way I started it, that we support each other, be better together than alone, be more successful together than alone.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah.
And how long is it now? How many years have you been?
We'll have 10 years of marriage this year.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
special.
Thank you.
You one point you said curiosity, and I wrote it down because it's something, you know, I think early on when I was wanting to do the podcast, and even just as I was looking at my own transformation, I was reading somewhere about whether you're content or curious. And I feel like it's an interesting question to ask everyone, because a lot of people might be content. They think everything is right and this is their life. But you know, I'm curious as always, and to ask, where are you? Are you content, or are you a curious person?
Why not both?
That's true.
And I'll tell you why, because this is what I came to realize you know, when I went deeper into knowing myself, I realized there's a lot of duality, which it is everywhere in life. And we are taught that one is good, one is bad, one is good, one is bad. You know, you have one so that you can see what good is. You have the dark so that you can see the light. You have, but what if both dark and light, because both have their own meaning, you know, and they are both important. So why not both content and curious? And I'll explain a bit. I am curious. I was always a curious person, because I always wanted to understand what's behind things. I wanted to explore the world. And I did actually, at the beginnings of my career, I was a software developer, and there's a lot of curiosity and creativity there. You know, when you write, practically you learn a programming language and then you write your own code. It's a creative way. speaking, and then I realized with the music, I don't know how to compose music, but this was my way of writing my music. Yes. So yeah, I think I have this curiosity in me, but now I realize why not instead of or to put an and, curious and content, meaning I'm happy where I am, I'm content where I am now. Yes, I'm looking for more, I want more, but I'm not doing it just because I'm dissatisfied. It's just because I can see that there is more. I have the vision of more. I'm also content where I am. It's fine. You know, it's related to joy and happiness in life. And the way, you know, Vivir mi vida, I will smile, I will dance, and yeah, I will be content and also curious about what's next.
That's beautiful. Clara, where can people find you? Where are you mostly active on social media?
I'm most actively on LinkedIn. So please look there. I also started already for a few months a newsletter on Substack. Please register there because yeah, there I have the freedom to write long articles because LinkedIn is quite restrictive. And
Yeah.
I found out that I'm more creative and free. Speaking of freedom, my best ideas come when I don't put restriction on the number of characters. And then I see what I do, you know, for social media to extract parts. But there I pour more of my soul in it and also my experience with my clients, their stories, and well, those that allow me to share their stories and my own in work, because it still continues. I've learned a lot of things, but it's a lifetime.
Clara, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to have you on the podcast and also for you to share these special memories and tracks with us. As always, I wish you to be kind, be humble, and be love. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sean, for this wonderful space.
Pretty vacant times.
Are you ready?
Suffered for his sports jacket.